Awesome. Okay, welcome everybody. We are already, I'm just going to mute you guys for a sec. We are already on module 6. Amazing. Like this round has gone freaking fast, I reckon. Blinked and like we're on module 6. So I just want to quickly, because it's the start of the call and if people watching the replay, remind you all that because there's no live round this year, we've put on all the extra bonus calls. So there's basically one per month leading up to Christmas where we're just going to do a recap. And basically we're going to chunk it down and, kind of do 2 modules at a time, but you can bring any question you want. And we'll just make sure that you've got everything really well covered, that you're really up to speed with what's in the program, where to find things, what tools are available to you, and that you kind of graduate the year really powerfully and really in a really strong way. So have to walk the dogs in 30 minutes? Yep, no worries. We love going for walks with you, Jen. It's lovely. So reminder that those events are up in the Facebook group, and I'm almost certain I've asked Jasmine to schedule some reminders. I'm sure I have. It's just once it goes into Asana, it goes out of my brain. So basically they'll be like these calls, but I'm mixing up the time zones a little bit so that the girls in Europe can join us for some of them as well, because they find it hard with this time of day. And in addition to that, you're going to see some other times go up because this module is about aligned effectiveness. We're going to have some co-working sessions where we actually put it into practice, get together and get some stuff done, smash some stuff out in a really beautiful aligned way. I really like co-working. I get so much more done when there's someone else watching me. I don't know why, but I just do. And those of you who were at the live event, we had a really cool co-working session and we smashed out some really great stuff, and it was only a short little session we had. So there'll be a few of those as well. And, feel welcome if you guys want to just do some extra ones. Feel welcome to pop a post up in the group. Use this room. Like it's especially set up that you can join without me being here. That's why, you guys get to like have a little chat when you're here early. So feel welcome to use this room. Everyone's got the link. It probably makes it easy. And just go, hey, I'm going to do some co-working. Just don't do it when we're running a call. Because then that's going to be a problem, right? Well, and then I'll be going, well, you're on the call now. But yeah, use this room and just feel welcome to chuck up some posts going, look, I need to just, really buckle down for the next hour or 2. I'll be in the Zoom room. Who wants to join me? And I find that even being here on your own sometimes, it just helps. It's like I'm co-working with myself, and it just kind of gets you into the right frame of mind. So that's what the focus is for this month, and that's why I've put on those extra co-working sessions. Hi, Layla. And I'm just reminding Layla why you've joined us, everybody, that we do have those bonus calls where we're going to be doing a bit of a review to make sure we finish this year really strong. And the last one's officially our Christmas party. So bring your Christmas hats, bring a drink. We'll just have a good recap of everything that's happened this year, and, it'll be just open forum and a bit of a chat. I think it'll be really fun. All right, so to get us started, let's just ground, and I feel like we need to just do a heart coherence and keep it simple so that we remember to go back to the basics, right? So just closing down your eyes if it's safe to do that, getting your feet on the ground, taking a lovely deep breath in, just settling yourself into the here and now, just really noticing that breath as it passes through your body, filling up every part of you. And as you release it, just letting it go with love, letting that breath cleanse you, imagining it, kind of finding any tight spots, any bits of resistance, any bits where the energy isn't quite flowing, and letting it kind of kiss that part of you and release that tension, release that resistance, letting it go with love. Sending a little bit of extra air to anywhere that feels like it needs it, allowing you to become even more relaxed and present. And now taking your awareness to the center of your chest, to your little heart brain there, by either placing 2 fingers or crossing your palms over the center of your chest. Just taking all your focus and awareness to that heart space. And now taking the breath and visualizing and imagining it passing through that heart space. That's right. Imagining that heart space opening up even more, becoming this beautiful wind tunnel, I guess. Allowing the air to enter your body through it and exit your body through it. Expanding that space within you, sending it more energy, more focus, feeling it come to life. With a couple more very intentional breaths, really expanding that center within. Now feeling that heart space so energized by that breath and by your focus on it, continuing to focus on that spot, and continuing to breathe in and out of it. Now adding that beautiful elevated emotion, that high frequency energy of love, gratitude, joy, whatever you want to call it right now. And allowing the air, the breath, to energize it even more. Letting that emotion, that feeling grow stronger and stronger with each breath in and out. Breathing in to expand that feeling, exhaling to let it grow even stronger. Breathing in to power up that feeling. That's right, another level. And exhaling to let it grow even stronger. Fueling it with that breath, growing it more powerful, more beautiful, and allowing it to ripple all the way through your body. And with your next couple of rounds of breath, breathing still through the heart space, but being aware that you're breathing now with your entire body at that higher frequency. Your entire body expanding from that beautiful epicenter of love within you. All your energy growing in power. That alignment settling through every cell of your being, recalibrating you to a higher frequency than before. And letting it expand, if you like, beyond your body, just in that really comfortable, easy way. Feeling it growing in momentum and strength and power. And breathing to give it even more life and even more power. And once more, letting that feeling flow and grow all the way through your body. Feeling yet another little software upgrade happening within. And now just taking a final cleansing breath in, dropping your hands into your lap, wriggling your fingers and toes and coming all the way back into the room. Nice. That was a good one. Beautiful. Okay, so I'll open up the mics in a sec because I want to hear what's been going on for you, what's happened, tell us the good stuff so we can celebrate with you and share in the excitement and help you build more of that energy, aligning to it even more, right? Because when you share it and you reactivate that energy, that gratitude, all the good stuff, and you share it in that group environment, it re-energizes it, it reactivates it, makes you attractive to even more of the same. So while I'm doing that and while we're going around, if you already know that you want to have a chat to me towards the end, then please just let me know in the chat box and I'll make a little list so that I remember who's what, especially if you do need to go early but you want to have a quick chat, then make sure you pop your name in the chat box to let me know. All right. Celebrations. Oh, I'll go first. We've got over 4,000 women in the Manifesting Circle Facebook group, which is freaking amazing. And every time we hit one of these milestones, I go, crap, I want to do something special to celebrate. But it usually happens in the lead up to 5-day money magnets because that's when they're all flooding in. So it's like, this is not the time. But we also had the silent auction, which was really, really cool. So thank you to those of you who put something in it. I think it just really elevated the awareness of what everybody's services are and to another level. And I know that there've been lots of follow-up little relationships formed out of that. And, you know, not just with the people who won auction items, but with other people who expressed interest and so on. And lots of cool stuff's come out of that. So that was really great fun. What else? Oh, my mailing list finally it seemed to be there was a little upper limit going on. My mailing list finally went past 5,000 people, but then Active Campaign was threatening me that if I didn't pay them an extra $250 a month, that I wasn't able to send out any more email campaigns. So we decided to do a little cleanup. And I really encourage you, like, if you've got an email list, clean it up regularly, because we just got rid of anybody who hadn't engaged in the last 2 years, like 24 months, and it got rid of 200 people, which is insane, right? So, and especially when you're paying for your mailing list, you're paying for that. So don't just look at the numbers and go, yeah, you know, I've got 5,000 people, because 200 of them hadn't wanted to open an email. They probably changed email accounts and forgot about it. And there's duplicates in there and all of that. So I just want to encourage you to keep your mailing lists really clean, because you're better off with smaller, really good quality audience than 1,000 people who don't necessarily all want to hear from you, and because it starts costing you a lot of money. And in fact, I think I'm going to have to actually look at making a move to Kartra, because Active Campaign gets really expensive as you start having more people on the list. Like Kartra charges me the same as what I'm paying now, will charge me the same for up to 12,500 people, and it does a whole lot of other things. So anyway, that's a whole other story. But yay, celebrating not having to go up a plan on Active Campaign as well. Because I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's like more than double what I'm paying them now. So it's been a good week. What else have we got going on, ladies? Feel welcome to just jump in and unmute yourself.
I'll unmute myself. Hello, Miriam. How are you?
Hello, beautiful.
Lovely to see you all. I'm celebrating that I have actually had the balls, and I'm going to use that word, to go through with putting out a retreat in France next year in May. And so it took me quite a while to go, yeah, this could be a thing. Like, yeah, this is a thing. And I've decided to cap it at 6 people. And cool. I've already got 4 people.
Yay.
Who I've invoiced. One of them's completely paid. I know, thanks, Jen. I never actually believe it until the money's in my account, but I've got 4 people. And I'm like, even with 4, I'll go. And I've still got another 8 months to get another 2. So I'm super excited, because it's so exciting for me, like planning it. And I had a little evening where I invited everyone who was interested to come and have a glass of rosé, because I'm going to this very specific part of southwest France, and I actually had some rosé from Occitan, and I thought, okay, let's have a little slideshow and a glass of rosé, and I'll make some tapenade, and we'll have this whole French experience.
Oh, that's so clever.
It was so lovely. And I'm going to do more. My partner actually said, why don't you have a movie night and show them Jean de Florette, which is in Provence, it's nearby. And I thought, yeah, that's a really nice way to build momentum, to get excited about it. Yeah. I got excited. I was looking at the photos and going, oh my God, I just can't wait to see those. So it's cool. Just a magical place that I know quite well. And I can't wait to introduce them. And the other thing that's happened as a result of that, sorry, I'll stop in a minute.
No, that's fine. Hang on, I'm just going to turn up my heater, but I am listening.
Well, I think I'm getting to this real sense of, there are a lot of people who, my tribe, well, not a lot, but there are some in my tribe who are so loyal, right? They're what Tash would call at the very center of the onion. They're really loyal. They get what I do. They love what I do. They know the value, and they pay to play, right? And it's so fantastic to have those people, because I also attract the people from the outside of the onion who are like, well, I'm not really sure, and come on, prove yourself. And actually, you call this a retreat? Like, you know, like I've had those experiences as well. And I really am trying to train my mind not to focus on the shitty bits, right? Because the shitty bits, it's so easy to get, for me, it's really easy to get stuck on the shitty bits. And just because one person decided that they didn't like the retreat venue, and they want fluffy towels and all the rest of it, doesn't mean, right? I don't have to make that mean that my retreat, do you know what I mean? Like, everybody else loves the place. Everybody else adores it. So
you've got 9 people who are in love with it, and one person is like, oh, this is not for me.
Which has more to do with her than really the retreat. So it's a real piece of mental hygiene for me, because I want to be loved by everyone. I want to be, blah, 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 blah.
Of course, we all want to be loved and popular and liked.
Of course we do. And I'm beginning to realize that it's kind of the price of doing business. It's the price of getting out there into the stadium and having blood on my face and saying, this is what I'm planning to do. Like, if you want it, come and get it. And if you don't want it, fuck off.
Yeah, you don't have to. Like, no one's forcing you.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Boundaries, baby.
Oh my God. It's such an endless, I mean, look, it's such an endless learning cycle, right? An endless
Yep.
learning cycle. And I feel like I'm getting much stronger with it. My business is growing, the money's pouring in. It's great. And I just
Yeah.
need to, steer the ship in a way that's good for me. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think you've really, you've been on a bit of a journey with that and you've really mastered going, actually, this feels right for me. This works for me. And I'm going to run with it. I'm going to stop banging my head against the wall and trying to do things that just don't feel in alignment for me. And, the proof's in the pudding. So well done. Like, you're rocking it. I'm so, so, so happy to see
Look,
that. It's amazing.
and
And when
it's
you announced France for a retreat, I went, oh, that is ballsy.
It's really it's just so fantastic. And it's, you talk about a 5,000 email list. I've got 130 people on my email list, but they're all, it's like small but
Yeah.
beautiful, right?
But very, very loyal. And yeah, it's beautiful. And when you get to that stage where you have those really loyal supporters who, totally believe in what you do and will follow you everywhere, it's really cool. It's really
Well,
beautiful.
it's a beautiful symbiotic thing because the more of that I get, the more I believe in myself, and then the more I reach to do
Yeah,
bigger things. And
that's right.
I can see that in the women's groups. Like, I'm now teaching Gestalt theory. It's not just a group where we come together and connect. It's also about learning and reflecting on, well, how do you do life? How do you modify contact? Where do you get stuck on this cycle of experience? It's super exciting for me. So it's like there's movement and growth. Yeah. So it's lovely.
Love
Thank you.
it. Well done. Good stuff.
Thanks
Thank you for
for listening.
sharing. All really cool. Really cool. Okay, who else wants to jump in? What's been going on? Jen.
I'll jump in quickly. Celebrating two things. Two things. I have a speaking gig with a whole bunch of other Vancouver women entrepreneurs for September 8th, which is super exciting. So they've just asked me to shorten my presentation from 35 to 20 minutes, which is fine. I can do that. And Miriam knows about this, but nobody else does. I was offered a soloist in Mozart's Requiem next May in Victoria with the Victoria Choral Society. And I'm
So cool.
super excited. And yeah, I'm super thrilled. So that's a way that I'm so excited about keeping my singing and my music going. So yeah, good momentum.
Amazing. Love it. So exciting. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing. Who else? What's been going on? Anna's got a house. What's been going on for you, Suzanne?
Well, I created a paid discovery call, which caused some interest in my business groups because, like, no one will pay for a discovery call. And anyway, long story short, I just made it because it felt good. Put it on my Facebook page because you can link Acuity in Facebook now.
Yeah.
Announced it in my email, didn't do anything with it, just made it. A lady booked it and bought my 6-month package paid in full.
Woo-hoo! It's
So
so
good.
cool, isn't it? And often, like, when you step up and you set those boundaries and you go, no, these are the people I want to work with, like we were saying with Layla, and if that's not for them, fuck off nicely, as in, I'm not for you.
That's my opinion. I'm like, if you don't want to pay $25 to talk to me for half an hour, it's a token amount. It's like to ensure that you show up. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And if you're like, ew, that's gross, I don't feel that you're going to give me $3,000. Maybe I'm wrong, but like, I don't feel aligned to that. But the people who are like, oh, well, if I don't work with her, at least I've given her something, because that's how I feel when I go onto a call. Yeah.
And it's so cool when you attract those people who go, yep, she's the one I need to talk to. I'm booking in. This is happening. Because you go, wow, that means your energy's going out there really nice and clearly. It's so cool.
Loved it. It was so good. And I thought, for the people who don't want to do it, that they don't have to. But like, I don't personally sign up for discovery calls with someone because I just feel like they're going to push me for half an hour to work with them. I was like, if I've given them something and like, oh, no, I don't want to do your thing, I feel better about it. So it's all about vibration and stuff. So I'll attract people who feel similarly,
Super cool. I love it. Thanks for sharing. Actually, I had somebody yesterday, I had someone book in for a 15-minute chat, which is on my 101 sessions page, which I never promote at all. And I went, oh, who's that? I don't even know that name. So I checked my active campaign and I went, no, she wasn't on my mailing list. She's not in my Facebook group. She doesn't like my business, like my Facebook page, I went, oh, please don't tell me like some random has booked in to try and sell me something. So I was like, please don't be wasting my time. So I jumped on my 15-minute chat. But no, she's like a multiple six-figure business coach in New Zealand. She was like, I need someone to help me. I've got some shit going on. Found one of my videos, went, yep, cool, booked in, done. I'm like, oh, because to be honest, like people don't usually just find me and book me instantly. They usually have been kind of watching me for a while. So I'm like, oh, good, new level.
Winning.
Love it. So yeah, and that's when I know that my energy has been, really good. When stuff like that happens, you just go, yeah, that's right. Should be that easy. Like wake up in the morning, go, oh, someone's booked 15 minutes with me this morning. I don't even know who you are. 2 hours later, got a couple of grand in the bank. Okay. Thanks. All good. Love it. Awesome. You're rocking it, Suzanne. I'm loving everything I'm seeing in your business. It's just getting so powerful.
Thank you.
Love it, love it. And Anna, sorry, I mentioned quickly before, you found a house. When are you moving?
We moved yesterday,
Oh.
which is why I'm looking like I need another 3 days worth of sleep. And I'm here to clean today and tomorrow, but I'm actually just loading Airtasker to see if I can swing someone to come in and help me do it.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Don't spend 3 days trying to make $35 on Facebook Marketplace and pay someone to clean that house for you.
I know. But yes, the house was easy when we let it be easy.
And it's nice and close to school.
Yeah, so it's close to Serena's school. It actually has 4 bedrooms, which we wanted so that I could have an office, but the office is off the back of the garage, so it has its own entry, and so that'll be nice and separate. So yeah, we had our first night there last night, so that was awesome. Learning lots, and then last time, and I can't remember it all, but I know we were talking with Isha about at the end about allowing the clients to just come to us and just letting go of the outcome once we've had a freebie call with them. And I had one of those ladies that I'd had a discovery call with, sent her the follow-up email, didn't hear anything from her. And I always say, like, I'll contact you in a week just to see how you're going. Send her another email. Didn't hear anything from her. And I was a little bit like, oh, I thought she was, energetically, I was like, yeah, she'd be a great fit. And everything seemed right. I was like, well, I'll just let it go. And then literally after our last call, I got an email from her saying, sorry, I've been really busy, needed time to process. I'm going to book in for your 6-month package.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. It's funny
So
how sometimes we energetically keep people in a holding pattern around us.
Yeah.
And then when we shift
So
up
I just
a little bit, release a bit of resistance, it's like, bloop, they can finally pop in.
Yeah, it was just letting go of just letting it go and letting it be. It was like, oh, well, she's just obviously not ready, or whatever it was energetically. I was like, okay, let go of the outcome, and
yeah,
she is. So she starts next week, I think.
super.
So that's awesome. And there's been other awesome stuff. I just can't remember because
you look a bit tired.
Sleep.
I'm glad you're here with us. All right, let's send you some extra energy.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Anyone else want to jump in with a quick share and celebrate before we get stuck in today? No? All good. All right. No worries. If you think of something, jump in later. All right. So we'll talk about today so we're getting into module 6, which is all about aligned effectiveness. So, really learning and to become more conscious of how we manage our most valuable resource, our time. We've talked about money in the previous module. Now it's time to talk about time. And we really want to look at how do we get into that beautiful state of flow and stay in alignment while being really effective and productive. So a lesson, like the first lesson today, is about just the key principles, and then we're going to get into setting up a structure and then into daily habits and hacks in the third lesson. So I'll just do a super quick recap of what's actually in this lesson in case you haven't had time to watch it yet. I won't ask for a show of hands. Like, oh, she recaps it for us on the call anyway. It's all good. Anyway, so there are a few key points and I'll just touch on them. So just having an actual think about what the difference is between effectiveness versus efficiency versus productivity, right? And they're a little bit different, and often people just focus on being really efficient or being really productive. And the trap with that can be, it becomes just about smashing out lots of stuff without necessarily being in that place of alignment where you're actually guided to do the right things at the right time because all the other kind of pieces of the puzzle are ready to fall into place for you. And also you're not necessarily focusing on what is actually going to make the biggest difference for you. You know, just getting stuff done and ticking it off your to-do list is one thing, but have you actually focused on getting the most critical things that are going to move your business forward, that are going to make your life easier, that are going to increase your profit, your cash flow, and all of those things? Are you actually getting those done, or are you just kind of playing around the edges and ticking a whole lot of stuff off and being really productive and being really efficient with it, but not really, you know, getting to the things that will make the big difference? So that's why I always use the word effectiveness, because to me it's about, well, what is the effect? What is the outcome of what you're doing? You know, how does it impact your business, your life, your abundance? And so with that in mind, then thinking about, okay, well, we've got this limited resource of time. And so what we do with it is important. And within that, container of how we use our time, we need to be aware that we have limited ability to focus, and we also have limited ability to apply our willpower, right? Because there's only so much of that our brain can do each and every day before it runs out of steam, before we get exhausted. You know, look at Anna, she's a little bit worn out because her brain's been computing 50 million different things, and where each piece of furniture needs to go, and where everything has to be packed, and what has to be done in what order and where, and who's got to have what. And it's just like, there's only so much of that before you run out of power. And, you know, your brain actually uses up to 20% of your daily fuel, like physically. So it's a huge, it has a huge requirement of energy, and it can only do so much computing every day. So we need to really protect that resource very, very fiercely, because there is only so much of it to go around. And when we are fatigued, it becomes really, really difficult to be in alignment, to be in flow, where we can access that guidance and we can, you know, get that beautiful flow of momentum going. And that's why people like Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs, you know, they are very big on limiting the amount of decisions they need to be able to make every single day. Like, if I don't need to make a decision about what to wear because I wear the same black t-shirt and black jeans every day, that's one less thing that my brain, the available energy my brain has that for today, that's one less thing that it has to be spent on. And so that leaves more computing power for the more important things. So, you know, there's a huge movement around that, around limiting the number of decisions you have to make each and every day, and just protecting that limited resource you've got. So we talk about, you know, protecting the golden goose, like really fiercely protecting the golden goose, because you are the golden goose. Your ability to focus, your ability to make choices and apply yourself, that's it. Like, everything else hinges on that. So when you are able to be in alignment, that's when you step into your power. That's when you can get that sense of flow, that sense of momentum, and all that guidance can come in to support you. And, you know, so it's very, very important that you protect your most precious resource, your own energy. So we use, obviously, things like meditation and so on to help us be more present, because a lot of energy gets wasted by not living in the present moment. So, you know, I'm sure you're aware that you spend a lot of your time rehashing what happened in the past, or catastrophizing, or, you know, mapping out future scenarios that may happen. So there's a lot of energy that's expended living in the past and projecting into the future. And when you bring yourself back to the here and now, you're actually gathering all that energy back and reclaiming it into the moment where you can actually do something with it, because you can't change the past and the future's not here yet. But right here, right now is where your power is and where you can do things, make decisions. So it's really important to kind of make a decision to stop time traveling and to catch yourself when you're ruminating on the past or, you know, worrying about the future, and to bring yourself back to the here and now. Meditation, alignment, heart coherence, all of those things help you do that. It helps you bring all your power back to the here and now. Trish says, I'm finding reducing decisions really helpful. Yeah, and that's where routine is really helpful. You know, you don't have to make all those extra little decisions, because if by the time you get to breakfast or by the time you get to sit at your desk, you've already worn yourself out by making 50 million different decisions and having all these different conversations, there's only so much left to go. And that's why, you know, when we get into the daily habits, we talk about, just as we talk about start high, stay high in terms of your alignment, getting in ahead of it, you also want to get the important stuff done early in the day where you have the most power and energy available. So just really protecting that resource of yours, because Parkinson's law applies when it comes to your time, just as it applies when it comes to money. So Parkinson's law, in case you've forgotten, states that the amount of a resource required to complete any given task is the amount of resource available, which means if you've got 3 weeks to organize something, it'll take you pretty much most of that 3-week period. If you've got 3 days to organize the same thing, you'll get it done in 3 days. If you've only got 3 hours, you'll buckle down, you'll get it done. So, you know, realizing that Parkinson's law is always at play, and if you don't control what's going on, then it always kicks in, and it just starts, things just start swelling and taking over and spilling over into the next day and the next day, and taking all your, you know, your available resource. Anna, do you want to tell us about Parkinson's law and moving house?
It was just such a clear example. So when we moved into this house, we moved from a little 3-bedroom house. It was quite small, and we moved into this house, which is basically 5 bedrooms, massive. And we went to do the packing, and I was like, okay, this is the plan. I know how long it took me to last time. We've so got this. And we didn't, because we expanded to fit into this house, and we've now gone back to a much smaller house.
Yeah.
And we have like no room for all of this stuff. But on top of that, the extra time that it took to pack everything, it was just like, it was such a great example. And I actually used it to explain Parkinson's law to Dave, so then I could link it in with getting all our money into alignment and all our accounts sorted out.
I love it.
But yeah, I have a double garage full of stuff that I have no idea where it's going.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Hence Gumtree, huh?
Yeah. Yes. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, because, you know, we intend to move into the beachfront apartment and whatever we end up with on the Sunshine Coast, but we've got like a year and a half, maybe 2 years to do that. So I keep saying to Martin, okay, we've got a year and a half to cull all our crap down to what will actually fit there, because at the apartment all we've got is we've got like a wall of cupboards in the garage downstairs, and there's no other storage space. Like I had to buy one of those stick vacuum cleaners because there wasn't even a cupboard to put the vacuum cleaner into. So you know, we've got a year and a half to cull it down, and it's amazing how everything just swells. And it totally happens with time and with projects, you know, with work stuff. It can absolutely happen. So when we get into the more practical things in like the next couple of lessons, we're going to talk about some really useful little hacks and habits you can get into. So today we want to get the basics right. We want to make sure you've got as much energy in the tank as possible so you can stay in alignment. And then we marry in the productivity tools and so on to help you actually get the stuff done, in order of what is going to be have the most beneficial effect and outcome for you, and getting it done in a really timely fashion. But ahead of all of that comes alignment. This is effectology method, so it's all about alignment and coming at it from that place of alignment, because that's when you leverage that incredible power, and that's when that little bit of effort you put in has this incredible multiplied outcome. Cool. So protecting the golden goose. So that's what this lesson is all about. You're not a machine, so that's got to be your number one priority. And you want to look at, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And one of the things that I mentioned in the lesson, in the slides, is that this is about self-care, right? And self-care is an act of self-love. And that's a really powerful demonstration as well of your alignment to abundance, because when you're expressing self-love, it's about you being willing to receive. It's about you being willing to receive even more goodness, abundance, love and self-care. So it's about you taking care of yourself and allowing yourself to be in a really good place as you grow your abundance, rather than buying into that whole, I've got to work hard to deserve it and earn it, and that's the only way it can happen. So we're flipping it, and the alignment comes first, because that's what helps everything else flow really well. So I want to do a little bit of a brainstorm of some stuff with you guys while I've got you. But before then, I just want to be clear. Let me share my screen. What we're looking to do this week. So we're talking about self-care, and I do want you to think about, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and really think about what are those non-negotiable things for you that help you stay on track. Like for me, I know that sleep, good quality, regular sleep is my number one priority. I know that, getting off social media and off my phone altogether early enough is really important. Otherwise, my brain does not stop spinning. I know that having a regular massage and a chiropractor appointment are really important for me, because otherwise my body starts feeling all crooked, and then, literally the energy doesn't flow through properly, and my brain starts getting foggy. So I know that there are some things that I need to do on a regular basis that are non-negotiable. So I want you to just get really clear and spend some time on what is your non-negotiable self-care. What is the stuff that if you don't do it regularly, if you don't take care of yourself in this way, the wheels start falling off, and then your alignment goes out the window, you start feeling exhausted, and then nothing good can happen. And decide how much of it do you need and when do you need it. And then I really strongly recommend that you have a regular appointment with yourself in your calendar for those things. So, I have an alarm that goes off every night that says, okay, that's it, it's shutting down everything electronic. I even have an alarm that reminds me to go to bed. I make sure that when I leave my massage therapist and my chiropractor, that I book the next appointment so that it's already in my diary, because otherwise it's like, oh yeah, that's right, I really needed a massage. Oh crap, it's been 4 months or whatever. So I book it when I leave. And so just recognizing that if you book it in and you make that time with yourself, or it might be your morning walk, what are those things that are your non-negotiable self-care, and making sure it gets booked into your calendar and it becomes that appointment with yourself. And then defining the rules of the game. So this is all about boundaries. How can you protect yourself from things that drain you? And we talked about already, Suzanne, oh, my discovery call is paid. It's only $25, but it helps me weed out people that just want to waste my time. So that protects you. Or having time slots available where that these are the times that I'm in a good place to, deal with people, to have these kinds of appointments. These are the time slots that are not good for me. This is what I'm prepared to do, and this is what I'm not prepared to do. So getting really clear on what drains you, and then setting up the boundaries to protect yourself from that, because you do really want to protect your golden goose. So, I keep kind of refining that over and over again as time goes on. And the thing is, in business, particularly, I guess, when you're service-based, and then it can easily start becoming that, oh, but I want to, fit in and serve people in a way that really works for them. And yes, you do, but you also have to take care of yourself, because you can't serve people if you wear yourself out. And you know, if you've got too much of the things that drain you, you won't be able to do the things where you're giving your energy in a way that actually then helps empower your clients as well, or helps grow your business. So being really honest with yourself, I think, is a really, really important part of this process, rather than trying to be some sort of hero, which I do get very guilty of, where I let my pride or my ego get in the way, or sometimes it's even a fear-based thing, and I keep doing things that I know are not good for me. And this is, you know, why I end up cancelling the next 4 retreats I had scheduled. Like, I had sold out retreats. It's like, yeah, making good money, people are loving it, but it was starting to really drain me. And, you know, I made the mistake of the retreat I ran, the private retreat I ran for the girls from Minnesota, where one of them was running some evening sessions. You know, we shared a room, and I love her and I wanted to hang out with her and I enjoy her company, but I need my space, and I should not share a room with anybody when I'm having to present or having to lead workshops or retreats. Like, I'm my own worst enemy, because I get really bad FOMO. And so, you know, I always want to go, oh, what's happening? What's happening? I don't want to miss out. And then I pay the price. So just going, okay, I'm never sharing a room when I have to present or lead a workshop or anything like that again. And deciding to cancel those retreats, because those retreats were really people who were at the entry level of what I do, and they were taking so much of my energy that it was then taking away from me being able to serve and show up in, you know, with the more advanced people. And I thought, well, that's backwards, right? So my most personal attention and energy should be on my VIPs. Like, where I give the most of myself, that should be with my VIPs. So having to kind of make that decision that, yeah, it was fun and lots of people want to go on retreat with me, and that's really great, but I'm just not willing to do it anymore. And it really, really knocked me around having to make that decision, because, you know, number one, it was making great money. Number two, people were loving it. And, you know, I had a fear around, oh, if I cancel all of that, then what'll happen? And I had pride in it as well. It was like kind of cool to go, oh, you know, another sold out retreat, another sold out retreat. But, you know, if Richard Branson said you can spend a week with him for $3,000, he would be inundated as well. And I'm not Richard Branson, but I'm just saying, like, you have to kind of know that you need to protect and set your boundaries and go, okay, well, this is how much you get, because this is a business and there's only one of me and there's only so much of my energy. And at this level, this is how much I can give. And at this level, this is how much I give. And make sure you've got that pyramid the right way around, you know, because I realized I didn't. I realized I was giving up way too much energy at that lower entry level, and then it was kind of leaving me depleted for the higher level. So so that's kind of what I want you to go through this week and share with us in the Facebook group with the hashtag Golden Goose. And Layla did some really awesome stuff around this last round, I remember. I remember reading some really cool stuff. I can't remember exactly what you did, but it was like, that's awesome, you're nailing it. And so no wonder, you know, teaching boundaries. So let us know, what are those activities and how have you made it so that it's kind of an ironclad commitment? Like, how can you set it up so that you can't weasel out of it? Really look at what do you need to do so that that stuff gets done, and how can you set yourself up also with your boundaries in ways that make it really simple and easy. You know, I use Acuity Calendar when people book in with me, and it's like, these are the available appointment times. If that honestly doesn't work for you and that's a deal breaker, then so be it. And, you know, things like people who want to catch up for lunch with me, like old friends and that sort of thing. Okay, that's my Friday thing. I only do that on a Friday, because if I start doing that on other days, it kind of either messes with my other routine, or it starts, yeah, it just starts taking things away from others. So it's like, okay, I do that on Fridays. Hey, if Friday doesn't work for you, maybe we'll do it on a Saturday one day, but usually Saturdays is family time. So, you know, that bit of structure really helps, and it helps you be really clear with, this is when these things happen and this is how they're available. So let us know in the group what you're doing, your appointments with yourself, your commitments with yourself, and what are the rules of the game. So things like, You know, I don't allow myself to be out of the house in the evening more than, like, I don't like to be out of the house in the evening 2 nights in a row because I know I get tired. And I also don't like to be out of the house more than 3 nights in the week. And mind you, this is my summer rule. In winter, I'm pretty much a hermit and I'm home all the time because I get really tired. Like, it gets dark and my body just says, go to sleep. It's all over, go to sleep. So in winter, you know, at 6:30, I'm scratching around the kitchen going, let's have dinner. And in summer, it's like 9:30 and I'm like, yeah, we should probably think about dinner. So, you know, I know that that's how I function and that's how I operate. So I just know to work around it and set up the rules of the game for me that make it really easy for me to then stick to it. Like, I've decided what they are, and then it means I don't get sucked into this pattern that then leaves me totally depleted. So get together with your buddies, share some notes, share your golden goose ideas. I'd like to do a little brainstorm here before we go as well of what thoughts are coming to you, and you know, help each other, like, really work through it with one another and make sure it's very easy and doable and that you're not setting up some big complicated system that's going to be really difficult for you to stay on track of. You know, do it in a way that's really easy. And just there's a couple of meditations to help you as well to get into the right frame of mind in this module. Focusing within and removing outside distractions is one of them, and the other one's called Feeling Love, because it's all about self-love. So just wanted to go through that so that you're clear on what we're doing. It's all about protecting the golden goose. What are the rules of the game? What are your commitments to yourself to make sure that that self-care gets, you know, priority number one? So I want to hear from you guys what's come up and what your thoughts are. I've already given you some of my examples. Emails is a big one as well, you know, just not allowing, I don't allow myself to look at my emails until I've done certain things in my day, and I only allow myself to open my inbox maximum 3 times in a day. So I literally have to go, this is already my second one. Okay, I got one left. When do I want to do that? Because, you know, otherwise you procrastinate, check emails, and you go, just check my emails again, just check my Facebook messages again, just check my other emails again. Oh, any new Facebook messages? 3 hours later, nothing got done. So setting those rules. So email messages, I've got some really clear rules for myself around. Facebook notifications used to be the thing that drained me the most. Like, honestly, it would stress me out so much because I would get 200 in a day and just feel like I cannot catch up with them. So I've given myself permission now to be 2-3 days behind, and I will do no more than a 25-minute Pomodoro per day on catching up on my Facebook notifications. And as much as I get through is all I get through, and then I have to get out. So that's the rules. And it's really amazing that I suddenly start attracting less. Like, now that I'm not feeling overwhelmed and dreading them, I'm getting a whole lot less. And guess what? Hasn't affected my business at all in a negative way. Because I used to think, oh, but if I'm not present and I don't reply to every single comment and I might miss out. No, not an issue at all. Screen time I already talked about. Like, I do have my reminder on my phone, and I let that be my last little check, where I just check if there's any urgent messages. Not on emails though, just Facebook messages and, you know, personal text messages. Sleep, like having that regular time, that's really important for me personally. And then I just wanted to quickly mention before I open it up, and then I'll shut up. Remember your core values. Like, when you commit to stuff, remember to check in. Like, is this in alignment with my core values? Is this going to light me up? Is this going to feed and fuel me? That's why we bothered doing that as the very first thing in this whole program, right? So check in with your core values. Remember to stick them up somewhere to remind you. And then when in those moments where you go, should I, shouldn't I, check in with yourself. Does it feel heavy or light? Does it fit in with my core values or not? Like, the heavy or light thing is really easy. And when it just doesn't feel right, it just doesn't feel right. So I'll give you another example, because I've just ripped the shit out of my business. I talk about pruning the rose bush. You know, you have to prune a rose bush right back to make it grow back stronger. That's kind of what I've done. So getting rid of all this extra little things, they're like, oh, and I'll just run this little mastermind on the side, this and that, no, it's all gone. And then now I'm kind of, you know, putting the pieces together for next year's business manifesting mastermind. And I wanted to run a retreat and or workshop as part of that. And I know Robin's had to listen to me. Like, I like to do my thinking out loud, but usually I try not to share it with too many people, because then they have to go on this crazy journey with me when my brain does all these things. So I was like, I think I'm over Bali. I want to go somewhere else. This is like next level. This is like the business manifesting mastermind. This is like working with the people who want to have a breakthrough year in their business. We're going to go to Sedona. We're going to go to the US. And then I started looking at venues. I'm like, I like the idea of Sedona, but I'm just not feeling that it's the right thing. I don't know. And then I went, maybe we can go somewhere like Mexico or Costa Rica, because it's kind of got the, because I also don't want to have to charge like $15,000 for the mastermind by going somewhere really crazy exclusive. So then I'm like, maybe we'll go somewhere like Mexico or Costa Rica, because then anyone in the North America can duck down and we can go. Or maybe we'll look at Hawaii. Oh no, that's going to end up being way too expensive. So like I did the whole head trips thing. And then I went to the Sunshine Coast because I want to run a workshop there as part of it. And I found the best venue ever. This is going to be so good, workshop venue. Then I found a retreat venue in the Noosa hinterland, didn't I? And I was like, maybe we do it there. And so then, it started expanding again. And in the end, I just went, actually, that feels really heavy. It feels really heavy to take on this retreat venue where I then have to bring in a caterer, someone to like tidy up the kitchen, find a yoga teacher to come in, like figure out how to ferry people if we want to go to town for dinner, and like transport and blah, because it's in the hinterland, it's a bit more remote. And I just went, oh my God, this is like it's just getting too complicated. And it was getting very expensive. And because it's like a year-long program, I don't want the retreat to be the thing that blows it out of the water. And in the end, I just went, actually, that feels really heavy. Yes, it would be amazing and beautiful. And I hope someone runs a retreat there that I can go to. But I'm not doing it because it's becoming too complicated for me, and it's going to become complicated for my attendees. It's going to become like a barrier to entry. So I just had to feel into, it was a great idea and would look great and all of that, but it was just going to be too hard. So long story short, found the best venue on the beach in Mooloolaba, right on the beach, and it's going to be workshop style retreat. So we can do yoga on the beach, we can meditate on the beach, we can go to dinner to a million different places. People can stay wherever they want to stay. If they want to stay in 5-star accommodation, they can. If they want to share rooms somewhere a little bit more affordable for them, that's fine. It's like easy, just choose easy. So yeah, that's a decision I made yesterday, which is why I'm verbal diarrheaing it all out. But it was just funny, like the whole trip I went on, absolutely nuts. My process is like driving my husband crazy, basically, because I was like, so I'm thinking about the retreat, and we could do like this, we could do like that, and then maybe if you hire a minivan, then we could pick people up from the airport. But and oh, fuck me, too hard. Would be great, but can someone else do it? So anyway, keeping it simple. All right, brainstorm. What's popped up for you guys? Let's hear it. How are we going for time? Oh my God. Oh, no, that's all right. We're going good for time. We're going great. We're being very effective here. Brainstorm. What's come up? What's in the chat box? Emails. Who's got to do emails? Trish, speak to me.
Yeah, emails. Like, I'm really good with my Facebook notifications now. Like, I just don't have it open, and it's but yeah, emails, especially if I'm waiting for something to hear back for a piece of information that I need. So I'll check in my email to see if that's arrived, but then I like look through the rest of it. So yeah, I really like that process of that idea of just being strict with myself on, okay, no emails until, after my 10:30, where I have my 9:30 to 10:30, which is like focused on what I really want to get done for the day. And then I can check my emails, which I've been checking before, and then I get sidetracked. And so that's a rule that I'm going to bring in.
And our brain's constantly seeking stimulation and seeking distractions, right? So you've got to be aware of that. And so it's very much about self-management. And when you realize that drains your energy, and it's your job to control that and to take charge of that, it kind of helps you be a little bit strict with yourself, because it's about self-management. And you actually mentioned something else that's really important. please guys, just turn off all your pings and pongs and notifications and pop-ups, because every single one of those sucks. Like, I want you to literally think that you've got a fuel tank, you know, and it's full at the start of the day, and every ping and pong like drops the level of fuel you've got available in your brain down even more, because it's just that moment of going, oh, what's that? Is it important? Do I reply? Do I reply now or later? Oh shit, I've clicked on it. That means I might forget later on that I have to respond to them. And like, it just, you know, yeah, is it just me? Good. I'm not the only crazy woman.
I've had to turn all mine off. Any ping, nothing pings, nothing at all. There's no, you know, like there's nothing.
Nothing.
And I've got this great new Pomodoro timer that actually allows me to block certain websites, so I can block my Facebook. So even if I want to go over and like have a sneaky look when I'm in my Pomodoro time, it won't let me. It's like I get to the page and it's not even, and it works on my phone as well. So if I pick my phone up to like check for a message, it says put your phone down and get back to it. Like, it's really
That's so cool. And then you go, fudge, where's my iPad?
No, I just like, okay, whatever you say. And yeah. And as you go, you earn trees. And so yeah, anyway, it's quite fun.
Earn trees. Oh, I like that. Oh, I love it. So cool. Good stuff. All right, what else has come up? Let's hear it. Isha.
I have noticed something that I've noticed. You know, when you talk about FOMO, like your processing everything is like totally mine. I have to talk everything out. Terrible. My poor family just roll their eyes.
I know. And we don't need them to answer, do we? We just need them.
No, I get cross when they answer.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no. You don't understand. That's all wrong.
Like, I didn't want that answer, but you know, anyway, moving on. No.
Yeah, I get it.
But one of the things with the FOMO is big for me. Like I begin to really understand that. And one of the, being in Takeoff, I do, you've got to do what Tash, do what Tash recommends, and you put in your market offers. And I've also realized that my energy really gets quite like fractured. I suppose because I haven't totally figured out my target audience, my messaging. And then when I see somebody who's probably smashing it or doing it better than me, I just get so depleted. Like my energy just goes, and I don't know, want to throw my business in the bin and go inside.
Comparisonitis is a disease.
Sorry?
Comparisonitis is a disease.
Oh, fuck, I hate it.
It's a vicious disease. So you have to be really strict with yourself. Like, if there's people you follow who like induce FOMO, like I actually used to have this with Ricky Jane Addams, right? Because she's such a powerful force of nature. And every time I saw her stuff, it would just really push my buttons. And I love her, like we're friends, but I would see her stuff and it would always make me feel like I'm not doing well enough, because, she's really good at doing we've got an institute and it's global and it's this and it's that. Like and I'm a bit more like, it's really cool stuff. Hey, come if you want to play, So I'd always go, maybe I need to do it more like her. And I just had to unfollow her and stop, and I had to get out of her group and stuff, because it was constantly that. So just be aware that you do need to kind of protect yourself from those things. And the more you can avoid it, if there's certain places that, get you into that FOMO and activate that FOMO and you can avoid them, please do. Because you need to just be yourself.
So it's not like coming from a place of competition. It's just, I don't know, because surely you should explore what's going on.
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't explore what's going on, but if you're constantly letting yourself be triggered into, I'm not doing it well enough, that's not allowing you to just kind of
do it.
You're not quite centered enough yet in knowing your thing. And if you're constantly looking on the outside of you, you're not going to be able to take the deep dive within you to uniquely create your own version of things. And that's the only one that'll ever actually work for you. You've got to be really true to yourself, because if you're not fully aligned with this is how I do it and stuff how everybody else does it, you're not going to be sending out a clear signal to attract people in anyway, because you're going to be like, I think I need to do it this way. And I'm, you know, and I'm not like making fun of you. I've done this. So, you know, oh, I think if I do it this way and I use this language and if I talk like this on my videos and if I wear more makeup and if I did, then, you know, I'll look like what I'm meant to look like and sound like what I'm meant to sound like, so that people will trust me and believe in me. And the more you do that, the more destabilized and off-center you become. So it's really important that you kind of block all of that as much as you can to just allow yourself to be uniquely you. Like I don't follow other teachers who teach similar things to me. You know, when I first realized that I was going to be teaching money mindset, I unfollowed Denise Duffield Thomas because I did not want, number one, to ever think that I was influenced by what she does or copycatting or something like that. Like I just cut all of that out so that I could just, this is what I teach, this is where I'm coming from. And gave myself permission to do that. And it made a huge difference just to stop watching other people, because otherwise you're constantly getting at the measuring tape to see how you're measuring up.
I think that's what I ran a business network, and I think that's why I ended up closing it, because a couple of people started up in competition to me. I think because they saw how I did it and they thought it was easy. Mm-hmm. It just stretched everyone's numbers, and it just became, I couldn't do it in the end because I just was so busy not. And when I focused on me and what I did, it didn't really matter.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Just ignore everyone else.
Ignore everyone else. Yeah, you're allowed to do it your way.
Talk to you.
You do know your stuff.
Yeah.
You do know your stuff, and you need to do it your own unique way, because that's the only way that your voice is going to be heard. You know, if you're trying to mimic the other voices out there, you're going to blend in with them and you're not going to stand out. Mm-hmm. So you really do need to be true to your own voice, and you can't find that and connect to that if you're constantly looking at what everybody else is doing and thinking, well, maybe I need to do it that way. You know, Suzanne's gone through this. Do you want to talk about it, Suzanne? Because she's nodding vigorously.
It prompted a question. I was like, I'll have to jump in next and ask.
Oh, good. Perfect.
How do you differentiate then when you want help versus being an asshole? Do you know the kind of people who ask you the same question all the time and then don't do it? But it's like, am I actually... So sometimes when you're asking for help, it's like, I want help, but not like that. Do you know what I mean?
You're talking about you asking for help?
Well, say you go to somebody for strategy or mindset or whatever sort of help, and and then they're like, do it like this, but it doesn't feel aligned to you, to say, good. Well, I do want help, but I don't want to do it like that. Does that make sense?
Well, isn't that just you getting clarity on what feels aligned to you?
Yeah, I suppose. But sometimes
so have they helped you get clearer on how you want to do it?
So you have to go through what you don't want to do first?
No, I'm not saying you have to do what they say, but if you go to somebody and you go, okay, I'm not sure what to do here or how to do this, so tell me what to do, and then they tell you and you go, I so know that's not for me, I don't want to do it. That's been worth it to me, because it's given you clarity on, I definitely don't want to do that. Now I know what I do want to do.
Okay, I suppose.
It's not like, all right, fine, I'll do what you said because I came to you and I've paid you, but I don't like it. It's like, thanks, you've just helped me really gain clarity that that's not the way that feels right for me. And I'm giving myself permission to do it differently. And thank you, I'll take it on board. I'm going to try it my way. And if it doesn't work, I'll come back to you, I'll try it your way. But right now it just feels really wrong. Like, that's how I would approach it, you know, because I have spent loads of money on coaches or loads of money on people telling me what to do, and I've followed it and I've done all this stuff, and I've spent years, because I was still running the finance business, you know, that was kind of something that actually held me back, because I didn't really need the income from this business, right? So I would go to a coach and they'd go, right, you've got to put this program together because that's the lowest hanging fruit. And and I'm like, but that's not really what I'm about. No, but this will get you traction. So, you know, then fast forward 6 to 8 months and I'd built this funnel and I'd built this product and nobody wanted it because I didn't even want to sell it. And, you know,
Yes.
So, you know, I think that's where the benefit sometimes of having no safety net is, because you just have to make it happen. And then if you're brave enough to trust yourself, you can go, okay, thanks, appreciate your advice. So it doesn't feel right, so I'm going to try my way first. And then, treat it like a little experiment, just like you should be split testing and trying new things in your business anyway. Go, okay, I'm going to try this for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Test and measure. If it doesn't work, I'll try your way.
Can I just ask a question there then, Miriam?
Yes.
Like, where's I know this sounds insane, but where's the line? Because I think that happens to me quite a bit, where, what Suzanne's just talked about is you go and you get advice and then you're going, this doesn't feel quite right. But you don't, I suppose I always think, well, they're the experts, so maybe I should follow them to find out that it doesn't work for me. Then I find out that it doesn't work for me, and then I'm kind of like pissed off and listen to myself in the first place, and then I do it again. And it's
Yeah.
when am I going to frigging learn that maybe I should just trust myself, and if I don't know, upset people along the way?
I think that when you go to somebody because you're unsure of yourself and you're hoping they will fix it for you, like you're asking them to do the work that only you can do, which is to trust in yourself and to tune into what's in alignment for you. And when you try to outsource that, it's never going to work, because of course they're going to tell you what works for them and what works for the majority of people. But I think what's important is that before you even go to them, you feel into what feels right for you and whether they're even the right person to ask, because we've all gotten advice from the wrong people. And when you look back on it, you'll probably find that you did it from a place of fear, and that you kind of didn't really feel right about it anyway. It was more like, well, it comes from a place of fear or a place of, I'm not good enough, but they seem to know what they're doing and I need to be like them, rather than they're going to empower me to be the best version of me. And I think that when you learn to tune in more, you actually then are attracted to and talk to the right coaches and the right mentors and the right people to guide you deeper into what's uniquely, powerful for you.
Mm.
When people come from that place of fear, they just, that's when you end up falling for the most stupid bloody sales and marketing ever, where you look back and you go, oh my God, I can't believe I gave them my money.
Totally.
Yeah. So I think when you just worry about, and that's why module 1 is core values, like being really clear on what it's all about for you, because a good coach and a good mentor shouldn't just try to cookie cutter you into their system. They should give you a structure that has enough flexibility that you can play with it and make it uniquely yours. Because, Tash has a system that works for her, but she's also the first to say that she's tried other people's systems and they do not work for her, and she's given herself permission to do it her own unique way. And she's great friends with Denise Duffield Thomas, but hates the way Denise launches her programs now, because she does the Jeff Walker formula, where you get 5,000 emails in 2 weeks and you're basically told that if you don't sign up to the program, you're screwed. And that's not Tash's style, but it works for Denise, because it means the launch is also very hands-off, and she doesn't like to, expend too much of her energy. So she's great with her boundaries. She's not running any more live rounds for her money boot camp, and it's $2,000, right? And she's not even going to show up live anymore. She's just going to pop into the Facebook group and do a Facebook Live when she feels like it. And that works for her. So she's amazing at boundaries. And because she's so strong in what works for her, that actually inspires her tribe. They love it. They're like, yeah, keep giving us less and sticking to your boundaries. It's inspiring us to do the same.
Okay.
And then, it just works. It works because it works for her, and it doesn't work for Tash. And what works for Tash doesn't exactly work for me either. So we each have to kind of really become very strong in getting to know ourselves and tuning in. And I mentioned when you just make decisions like heavy or light, does it match my core values? Also just muscle testing. Like if you can play with muscle testing a little bit. I go through stages where I'm really good at it, and then stages where I go, I'm not sure that I'm just, like that I'm influenced. Like I usually do this muscle test. Do you guys all know that one? Yeah. Like that's a really simple, no? So you know what muscle testing is, Layla? Kinesiology, right? So the body doesn't lie. And when you're in alignment with truth, then you're strong and, the energy flows. So it's all the same thing. So you can simply do a muscle test, like you set it up and you just make a little circle like that. Go on, do it with me. You make a little circle like that and you make it nice and strong and you go, okay. So you set it up first and you go, okay, show me a yes, and it's nice and strong, right? So you're basically trying to break the link here with your finger, and you kind of feel how strong a yes is. So show me a yes, and then you go, okay, show me a no, and then you do it again. And the no, it usually breaks really quickly. So you can set it up with, my name is Layla. Well, not true for me. My name is Miriam. Okay. So you kind of test it. And when I've worked with Sharon Stanford, she also does, is this a good time to make a decision this way? And like you kind of check, and is this the right thing to check on? So she does a few little quick checks like that. And then you can just go, is this the right coach for me? Yes or no? Or should I have a conversation with this person? Or should I go to this networking function? Or, is going to this party a good idea for me? Is it going to nourish me? So you can make those little decisions and you could just outsource it to your muscle testing. Go, no, sorry, muscle tested it. It said no. I don't know why. So it's really trusting, that innate intelligence within you that's tuned in. And it's very powerful.
I think that's answered some, maybe it's putting, if I'm the golden goose, boundaries on professional development in a way, because like how long is a piece of string? I feel, I said to Jen this morning, I feel like I just keep making money to pay people to.
I have a budget, like I have a yearly budget because it's important to me. Coaching.
No, it's very important.
It's important. It's important. And I have a yearly budget, and it's like, all right, well, this is what I'm spending it on this year. These are the people I'm working with. And, I see other people that go, oh, that looks cool. Oh, I like the sound of what she does. But it's like, no, at the moment, this is who I'm playing with and this is who I'm working with. And next year I'll switch, because I like to switch things up and try different things. So like I'm working with Jackie Atkins at the moment, who does the energetic blueprint for your business, which is really cool. And so that's my little extra thing that I'm doing this year. But it's easy to go, oh, and I'll sign up for that, and I'll do some human design stuff, and I'll do some of that. And next thing you know, like your diary's full of just all these appointments and your bank account's empty. So again, boundaries.
Yep. Okay.
How much is reasonable? How much time and money do I want to invest? And then who do I think is going to be the best fit for me right now?
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Systems. Outsource it all to systems and decisions made previously. Cool. Does anybody else have anything they want to add in here, or any other questions about all of this? Oh, Trish asks, will this bring me profit? Oh, I like that question. That's a good one. Straight to the crux of it. No other questions? Okay. So Isha, you had another question, or have we already answered it? You put your name down at the start and said, oh.
I think it was that, in that I feel like I almost keep paying, and where is that line? Like the only thing I've probably consistently stayed at is this program, like, and I do stay in Tasha's stuff, but yeah, where's the line, and you keep, I identified something just recently. There's a lady who does do energy work, and I have done some belief clearing with her. Mm-hmm. But one of the beliefs is really stuck. It hasn't, like, and I've known, because whenever I do pay for some stuff to get cleared, energy work, I can feel it. It does, and sometimes I can't even remember sometimes, like, and I really realized how much it had helped in the journaling with Carol Brennan, because she kept asking questions, and I was like, I can't actually remember half this stuff anymore. Like it was an issue, but it's like gone. And it's like, oh wow, that's really
That's
worked.
your nervous system. That's it. That's how you know it's gone.
Yeah, but this one particular brief, and it's this kink in the hose about spending money.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to her to try and clear it, and it hasn't cleared. I can still feel myself resisting. So that sort of started a path of me wondering if maybe it's body work that I need to look at. You see what I mean? So you kind of keep going, well, should I now look at body work, or should I, like where's the line in, oh, fuck it, just get on with it. You know what I mean?
I was going to say there has to be an element of fuck it, just get on with it as well. Just remember that when you start building up a new belief that is in contradiction to it and you empower that, it's going to take over, because the mind can't hold two opposing ideas at the same time. So you want to make sure that you don't get too obsessive about, I've got this limiting belief and I've got this problem and someone's got to clear it and I'm checking on it and oh my God, it's still there, and I'm checking and oh my God, it's still there, because that will actually reinforce it, right? And it'll make it even stronger. So I think that 90% of your energy should be on wiring in the new belief. Like, where can you look for evidence of the opposite of it being true? Because you can DIY it and save yourself the money and the time most of the time. By looking for evidence of the opposite and starting to wire that in. Because just mind that you're spending a fair bit of energy and time and focus on, oh, I've got this limiting belief, and then you're buying into the belief that until I clear it, I can't move forward.
Oh, it's just so annoying.
Right, stop it.
Okay. Yeah, boundaries. Stop it.
Click where the guy goes to the psychiatrist and
Suzanne, boundaries. No more. Stop it. Okay. All right. I'm stopping.
Things will come up, and it's good to acknowledge them and recognize them. But you don't want to be obsessive about it, and you don't want to believe into, oh, because I've got this. We've all got squillions of limiting beliefs floating around in our unconscious, but if they're not causing a major problem, then, I think you're actually better off just building the positive, the new stuff, because that'll crowd it out and take over. Because again, limited resources, right? You can't fire all these different neural pathways, especially if they're opposite meanings to each other. So just focus on building the new, make that like your main mission. And then ask for, just be open to guidance, and you might come across just the perfect person at the perfect time to help you clear that. But I think when you obsessively start searching for the right person to help you with this thing that's holding you back so badly, it's a bit of a slippery slope.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You got this.
Thank you.
All right, Anna. Oh, sorry, Layla, did you have a question too?
Yeah, I did. And sorry, I've got to go in a minute. So I tried to leap in.
You can.
I just want to ask a little bit about, for me, it's Facebook, right? I'm having a real struggle with Facebook. Some of the things that you said earlier and what you talked about with Isha and the type of coach, like I'm not sure that it's not working for me. I think I've got to this point where I've kind of withdrawn quite a lot from Facebook, because I'm finding that it actually makes me anxious. It triggers my stress response, and I just don't feel like it's been at all good for my vibration.
No, I don't think you're an online business person.
No.
And that doesn't mean you can't have a component of your business that's online.
Well, I'm trying to figure that out. Like, how do I make use of these systems so that I can, I'm not convinced that what I do actually translates in an online way. That's really my bottom line. Like, I've done a few online meetings with people, and it's just not, there's not enough connection. I can't get enough connection through Zoom, because it's such a full body embodied experience. I don't know, I can't really explain it, but I do know that it doesn't seem to work for me online. But I just need to find, bye Jen, I'm just kind of wondering whether I'm being a wuss. I guess this is the thing. Am I just being a wuss, and should I just get back in there? Like, I mean, okay. I love...
The business is doing great. You're making money. People are loving it.
Yeah.
It's all gathering momentum.
Yeah.
Who says you have to have any part of your business online.
Nobody. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But I feel like I need to keep building momentum in the business.
Yeah.
And I suppose what I've done is actually started looking at Google and Google business, whatever it is, like putting posts up there. And I feel like, so applying the Pareto principle, I have spent a lot of time in Facebook, and it really hasn't yielded anything other than, I guess, a bit of momentum and getting to know some lovely people like yourself. But yes, I feel like I need to kind of go, okay, I've tried that. It hasn't worked, or I don't think it's the right milieu for me, and I need to shift to another place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it comes down to, well, what do you actually want from your business? Like, are you looking at online as being a source of lead generation only, or are you looking to actually have an online component to your business? Like, these are some of the...
I think I'm looking at online being a source of lead generation, because I need to get people in the room face to face.
So maybe your people are more LinkedIn kind of people, or...
Oh, LinkedIn is so horrible. I can't stand it. I guess I'm just asking, I kind of want to...
So where do your people hang out?
Well, I think they do hang out in Facebook. Oh, God.
So I think here's the thing, that in the past, you've kind of tried to generate sales directly on Facebook. But I think that's
such a no-go.
Yeah. Whereas I think if you just generate, look at it more as lead generation, rather than trying to generate sales and making offers.
Yep. And I actually enjoy that too. Like, I think if I'm enjoying it, then it's going to be good, right?
Yeah.
That's the main, so that maybe that's what I needed to...
I think it's just, I would, look, I'm not your business coach, and, you know, without drilling down into it. But if you said to me, hey, Miriam, what do you think? And again, the same principles what we said with Isha applies. If it doesn't resonate, just tell me, like, just go, oh, yeah, thanks, fuck off. We're having a fuck off kind of day, aren't we?
Sorry, I started that.
That's all right. I'm always really happy to join. Yes. I just always think, oh, I don't want to be like this person that jumps on every call swearing, because I can easily be that. So if you said to me, hey, Miriam, how do you see my business working best? I think you rock the offline, in-person connected thing. You know, you run your retreats, your weekend retreats, you run your overseas retreats, like all of that's brilliant. You've got the local in-person thing happening. You're living in a place where there's enough people that you don't have to try and reach, you know, more online. I think online is just about building your brand and your presence so that people can come across you and find out a little bit more and stay connected, and then just filter through to that personal connection space.
Yeah,
I don't think you need to build like fancy funnels and all the rest of it. I think you just need to show up and talk about what you do. And then as you keep doing that, you know, invite them to, whether you have info nights or whatever what do you do like before your Stanthorpe weekends? Like, how do people get into, what's the steps for them before that?
The steps are 1-to-1, going into a women's group, and then going to Stanthorpe, and then coming to Bali. And that actually is working and then to France, right? And that's working quite well. And the relief I'm feeling in my body as I hear you say, it's almost like I need to have permission from someone to say, you don't have to do. And I actually feel tearful, because I feel like I have tried so hard with Tasha's formula, and I feel like it's just undermined. And I love Tash, don't get me wrong, I love Tash, but I'm just saying that I don't think that formula has worked for me.
Well, you're not going to build an online course, so like that's not what we're talking about. Everything for you is very personal and offline. So I think online, just using it to obviously reach more of the right people. But you can leave your invitations and your call to action very open. Like, just make sure that whenever you do a Facebook Live, or, you know, 2-3 times a week on your posts, you have a link to your website, or this is how people can get in touch with you, you know, and you talk about your women's group and your Stanthorpe weekends and your one-on-one work, and, you know, you can talk specifically to that and just invite people to get in touch, or ideally do get your mailing list happening. And, you know, so that they can, and yes, it's nice to have a freebie, but then you're buying into that whole system, and I don't think you have to. I don't think you have to have an opt-in and all the rest of it. I think you just have to like resonate with the right people, and then have a way for them to kind of connect with you.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, in the heart, I'll finish in a minute, but in the heart-centered group this week, I just can't bear the whole freebie and offer day and trying to promote and blah, blah, blah. I just thought I can't stand it. So I just went in on the convo starter day and said, singing makes you feel good, yes or no? And had this amazing conversation with loads of people who really support, were like, yep, it sure does. And then ask them why and how do they sing and where do they sing and what do they do and how does it, and I thought that has actually lifted me up, and I've made a whole lot of connection with a whole bunch of people. And I think that's actually the best way for me to engage on Facebook.
And I think just a few little strategic things, like because you're getting into the video thing now, and if you post the odd video into the heart-centered group, say, or into the manifesting circle on manifesting tip or genius tip days from your Facebook page, just a little heads up, that actually then means the Facebook pixel picks those people up. And if you then do an ad and run it to everybody who's viewed your videos, it will pick all those people up. And I think that for you, what will work really well is working with a good Facebook ads manager. If you think your people are on Facebook, which sounds like you do, working with a good Facebook ads manager to just push that message out and really target the right sort of people to start seeing and hearing what you do, and then just having a way for them to get in touch with you, which just means, book in for a 10-minute chat or come along to a women's group thing.
That is exactly
what you
described is exactly the direction that I'm heading.
Yeah.
And a part of me is going, have you just given up? Are you just
you've been smart enough to go, this doesn't work for me. The definition of insanity, right?
Keep doing the same thing. I know, that's why I've stopped, because I'm just like, I fucking don't want to do this anymore. And if it really makes me feel nauseous to do it, then don't do it.
And, it may be that it's totally the wrong thing for your business, or it may be that it's just totally the wrong thing for you. And and either way, it's not the right thing.
Yeah.
And there are so many ways of doing things.
Yeah, I just really needed to kind of thrash that out.
Have all of our permissions.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Thanks so much. I'll see you soon.
I'll see you.
Yeah.
I'll still see you on Facebook though.
Of course.
Having fun, having conversation.
Having fun. That is exactly it, having fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful. See you, darling. Anna Mason, thank you for being patient.
Suzanne was next.
Suzanne's next. Where are all these people saying they have a question that I'm not seeing?
I did have a question, but I can wait. It's all good.
That's okay.
I'm in the chat box. I'm missing stuff, I think, in my chat box. I don't know. I did not see that. Sorry, I didn't see Layla say she had a question. I didn't see Suzanne say she had a question. I'm sorry. Suzanne.
So,
thanks, Anna.
I met up with Kelly and we did our buddy thing for this. Yeah. And we had a similar question. So I was like, I'll ask it live.
For module 6 and lesson 1. God, you goody goodies.
Yeah, we were all organised. So,
wow.
With the golden goose, you put the time aside, okay? So my plan is when the kids go to school, I put Xanthi on the bus, I come back in, I have my time then. But what tends to happen is I go, oh, I'll just do the dishes, or I'll just vacuum the floor, or I'll just, you know what I mean? But then if I do sit down and do it, because it's like, oh, I've got this hour, I feel really guilty. I was like, oh, I should be doing this other stuff. You know what I mean? So I find it difficult.
So it comes down to having the rules of engagement around everything. These are the times I'm allowed to do housework. These are the times I'm not allowed to do housework. These are the times I have to do my self-care stuff. These are the times I have to work. And these are the times I have to do housework. When you set those boundaries around, you kind of have to micromanage yourself a little bit and just sit down and go, okay, well, what does it, and we'll get into this a little bit more in the next couple of lessons, but where we actually kind of work out, well, how much of that do you really need per week? And how much is then just procrastinating or overkill, and how much is not enough? So, okay, well, is the dishes just something where you go, and I'm not suggesting that you do this because I wouldn't do this, but some people go, the dishes get done after dinner at night and I'll wake up to a clean kitchen in the morning, and it just works for them, right? Or the dishes get done in the morning while I'm making breakfast, or the dishes sit there until I'm ready to cook tonight's meal and I have to clean up so that I can get started. But whatever it is, like the more you have a routine and the more you're really clear on it, the more it'll help you second guess yourself.
Yeah, because I do have the routine and now I'm trying to move it because I don't really do the self-care thing. Because the other thing you said in the module was like, if you've got an hour, make sure you're on alignment rather than doing stuff. And I have this fear that I just never do anything because I'm inherently rather lazy. But do you know what I mean? Pardon?
Good. What if you could be as lazy as you want to be and totally rock your business?
Oh, that'd be heaven. But, but then it's like, well, maybe I'm not building a business I really want to do because so many things being brought up by this because it's like, like what do I really want to do versus what I think, like when I get to this level, then I can, overthinking things. Because like the thing that came up most in this is I'm very efficient, but I'm not very effective, you know?
Yeah, cool. Well, we're going to go through some tools to help you sort that stuff out. And the bottom line is that if you're running your business at this level in a way that runs you into the ground where you're not taking care of yourself, that's not going to change when you go up to the next income level. Like adding another zero behind, you're just going to have more stuff. Like you've got to have more people on your team or more people in your membership, more. So it's the same as with money. More doesn't fix the pattern. You've got to sort the pattern out at the level you're at now and get it to the balance that is sustainable and then grow from there.
Yeah, that's really coming to attention now because every time I get to the new income level, I'm like, I need this person. So I've got a bigger team. And it's like, I don't feel any break. I just feel like I've more to do. So This is actually a really good time to get all this foundation stuff.
And really look at, because it'll bring stuff up. It'll bring stuff up around, I'm not working hard enough, I'm lazy, all of that. Like it'll bring all of those fears and limiting beliefs up. So that's great because you can clear them. Because ultimately, why did we go into business for ourselves? Because we want a great lifestyle, right? We want to serve and we want to do the thing we do that we love, and we want a great lifestyle and we want to be there for our family. And if you can't do that now at this level of business, you're fooling yourself thinking that if you add another zero to your income, it's going to magically change. Because you can be a workaholic at any level of income. You can be making no money and be a workaholic, and you can be making like a 7-figure income and be a workaholic. And you can be a billionaire and be a workaholic, or you can be a billionaire and be actually quite hands-off and lazy. It's just about how you're setting up your systems to really work for you. And I know I have really bad workaholic tendencies, and I have to constantly manage myself and force myself to have less time. And the way I do it is I make sure that I'm forced to leave the house. Like at least every second day, I make sure I'm forced to leave the house for a little while. Like it just gives me a mental break and it gets me out of that, bloody hamster at the computer. Because before you know it, my Pomodoros have gone out the window and this and that. So it's like you just have to manage yourself.
Yes. No, and one good thing that I did that felt really good is I took my nights availability down to 1. It's like I don't really like working nights, so I'm not.
Good. No, I don't like doing late appointments. The latest appointment I do is like a 4:30, and it's usually with Robin because she likes to have a nice long chat with her session as well. And I've learned that I need to do all of her work, like all of the inner work, like working on her unconscious by stealth, by hypnotizing her while she thinks she's just having a chat. And then by the end of it, she feels better and she's not really sure what just happened. So it works really well. But other than that, I don't really do any late appointments because I know that I'm like, especially some people like really you need to be switched on for them.
Yes.
I can't do that time of the day.
And a lot of one-on-one work I've cut right back because that takes a lot of my energy, I've realised, so more of my group thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why, my plan is that next year, the only people I'm working with one-on-one are the people in the Business Manifesting Mastermind. And outside of that, I don't want to do one-on-one sessions. I want to really, that's my most precious energy, and I want to give it to the people that are
committed to doing the work and getting a transformation.
Yeah.
Not kind of, yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to like sort of not waste it, but give it all away at those lower levels, because then there's nothing left to give to your VIPs. And it's like, that's not fair, right? Like I want to show up for them and just be like you guys are awesome and I love you and I can't wait for this session, rather than going, oh, I'm a little bit tired and worn out because I've done too many other things this week.
Yes.
That doesn't work. That's the wrong way around. So, yeah.
Love it. No, feels good. Thank you.
Ooh, baby. Awesome. Anna Mason, the most patient woman on the planet.
Hello, it's all good. I've been cleaning walls while I've been listening, so, you know.
I thought you were checking Airtasker.
Well, I did. I put something on there, but I haven't got any hits. I mean, I literally need them today or tomorrow. I contacted a local lady just to help with the bathrooms and the kitchen, and she's saying 300, which I think is a little bit.
Exit cleans are usually a bit expensive, yeah.
Yeah, I had been quoted initially $40 an hour by our original cleaning company that we used to use. And so, you know, 4 hours work isn't $300. So anyway, it'll all work out.
It will. And meanwhile, you're zenning out, scrubbing down walls. Hopefully not inhaling fumes.
No. I'm doing my best to keep it minimal chemicals, so except for the bathroom and the stove oven. So I'm going to put my headphones in because I've got a lot of echo from an empty room. Hang on. That's better.
I'm learning lots, as I do. And one of the things that and I know you're probably going to go, well, duh. One of the things that I keep coming across, that's okay. One of the things that I keep coming across is that I feel guilty because I'm not contributing more to the finances of the household. So then I do things like I've done with the house, and even though I had negotiated to get a cleaner for a couple of hours to support me, I then allowed the guilt and some unconscious comments from Dave to make me not put it into place. And then I get back into this place where I'm like, well, fuck me, I'm going to spend the next 2 days cleaning a house. Cleaning is one of the lowest priorities on my list. I'm much happier for someone else to do it. And I find myself back into this place. And it's happened in other areas. It's not just Dave. It's where I don't honour myself. And then I discover. So like with the silent auction where I put up an offer, and then I was like, you know what? That's so not aligned with me anymore. I'd put it up when I was tired and I was listening to everybody else and I wanted to be a part of something when I wasn't really ready to be a part of it. And then I got there and I was like, you know what? Actually, no, this doesn't honour me. And you know the process. So that's a bit more FOMO, but there's this big guilt, and I know that I need to be able to shift it to be able to be in alignment with what it is that I want to bring in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm after some suggestions and tools on how I can work on doing that to support me in that process.
I want to hear from the other ladies in a sec. I want to say something that, you know, you've got the guilt about not bringing in the amount of income you want into the household.
Yeah.
And so then your way of addressing that is by taking 2 days out of your business.
Yeah.
To scrub a house that you could have paid somebody like $100 odd bucks to do for you, right? Which keeps you from building your business, which will then shift that issue of you increasing what you're contributing financially to the household. So there's something keeping you stuck there, and you know there's some addiction to that guilt, like at the unconscious level, and it's keeping you stuck there. And there is some gain, there is something in it for you, and the guilt is kind of the chemical pattern of it that you've grown addicted to. And so looking at, well, what does that, you know, looking at it from a couple of different angles. I think you need to just kind of zoom out and be willing to look at it from a few different angles than you have in the past, and looking at it from, okay, this guilty feeling, what do I get from it? Like literally just the feeling itself, whether it's the feeling at the time or the fallout from it, you know, what is part of that pattern that you're getting something out of that you might be addicted to without even recognizing it. And also looking at, by being stuck in this pattern of guilt, you know, what is the secondary gain? Like, what's it helping you avoid? And I know we've talked about this, but I don't think the guilt's not the actual issue. It's what's the guilt helping you avoid, or what is the fallout from that whole guilty pattern that you are getting a gain from? Like you're getting something out of it, which is keeping you stuck there. And also looking at, well, is it helping me avoid something else that I fear more? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I would maybe look at it, you know, split those two up and start with, okay, so what's this cycle? Like, what's this pattern? Like zooming out. Okay, so I feel guilty. And then, for example, something like this happens where I then, you know, don't honor myself. Next thing you know, I'm scrubbing a bloody oven, hating life, feeling like crap about myself. And then, like, what happens next? Like, kind of map it out on a timeline, like what happens next? Because you might find something along the line where you go, oh, that's where I get some sort of secret hit of validation, or this is where I get a sympathy or whatever. And I'm, you know, like, just have a look and see what stands out to you where you go, ooh, that's what my unconscious, that's what my body, my nervous system is hooked into. It doesn't mean it's necessarily a good thing, like it's a positive, that there's some positive fallout. But as you go through it, you can go, I can feel that this is what's got me hooked. This is what's got me hooked, and this is the thing that we keep ending back up at, and chemically I'm hooked on that. Now, how can I get that, whatever that hook is giving me, in a much more resourceful way? But I think it's beyond the guilt. It's some fallout of what this guilt creates as a pattern.
Okay.
Suzanne, Robin, Isha, who's got suggestions?
There was the first thing that popped into my head was I used to act like I had the money anyway. So in my head, I was already making the money. I was there. So therefore, I would hire the cleaner. And because you're the same too, you know it's all out there, you honestly know that's the truth, then it will just happen. Anyway, so you'll hire the cleaner and your head will be in the right space. Instead of the guilt, it'll be in the space because you're already there. Does that make sense, what I'm trying to say? Am I saying it makes sense? The other thing that popped into my head just when Miriam spoke then has gone again. So it doesn't matter. It mustn't have been important.
When it comes back, you can put it back in.
Husbands, guilt. Eleanor Roosevelt, my daughter used to have this on her wall. Eleanor Roosevelt said, nobody can make me feel inferior without my permission. So you're giving your husband permission to make you feel guilty. I know.
No, I sorry, I'm going to say no. My guilt is my guilt. Right. It's not. I fully own that it's my guilt, and it's actually got nothing to do with him. He is just the mirror that is helping me see what needs to be addressed and what needs to be sorted out. But I don't. He's got nothing to do with it, really.
Yeah. Okay, great. So it's a mirror. Wonderful. So again, when that used to happen to me, because I know I would make the money, it didn't happen to me, if that makes sense. When he would say, well, he wouldn't actually say those things, but if he did something like about the housework or something that I wasn't doing or wasn't done to his standard, I knew it would happen. So even now when he says, oh, we owe all this money on this property or something, I just simply go, yeah, we do now, but we won't. And it just seems to diffuse the entire situation. In his head, he knows it's going to be okay because I know it's going to be okay. So maybe he gets that energy from me. I don't know. So now instead
I think the question is how can Anna get to a place where she's going to actually know and embody that it's all going to be okay?
Right.
Because
okay.
I think that's missing, and that's why she's still buying into the guilt.
Okay.
But the thing is, while you're hooked on the guilt, you can't get there, right? While you feel guilty that you're not contributing, you can't be rooted in the knowing that you are absolutely financially contributing, and that you'll blitz whatever Dave's bringing to the family out of the water. Right? So you haven't owned that to a level where it like they can't both coexist.
Yeah.
Mm.
I've gone through what you've gone through, Anna, and the only way I could find, I think, a way forward was almost I suppose it was almost like to question the thought and look for what Miriam said to me, look for evidence to prove I suppose, like, that it wasn't true, you know? Like, I'd always go, well, is that really true? And even if I'm not financially contributing, what am I doing energetically? And, you know, we get hooked on money, but we bring so much more into our homes.
What does a nanny, a cleaner, a cook, and a housekeeper cost?
And sometimes I would do that. I would sit down and work out what if I was to actually cost out me and go out to work. We'd be broke.
And childcare.
You know, so I guess that's how I managed to get some peace, mental peace about this, was if I really, and then started to see the evidence of what I did for our family, and when the money came in, what I was, and I suppose that helped me to really embody the belief that I'm a contributor. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Hope that helps.
Suzanne.
I was just going to suggest, I can't remember the name of the tool, but we did it on the weekend that Miriam took us through, where you go out past the successful completion of the thing. So maybe go out to past where you are the primary income earner, or however it got your goal, and then do that rewind and that process.
The anxiety buster.
Yeah, could be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think part of it, Anna, and I don't know how much business planning you are doing or have done, because you seem to have convinced yourself that you're stuck to a point. But it's really funny. There's like two Annas. There's the Anna that's going, oh yeah, I've so got this. And then there's the Anna who's going, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And you're never quite sure which one's going to show up. So I don't know how much actual business planning you've done. However, you want to have, while still allowing it to be flexible and for you to shift and change it, you want to have some sort of business plan and go, and I don't mean like a business plan document. I mean mapping out, what does your business look like? How much income do you want to generate? At the moment, where's that going to come from? So what are we building up to, and what's the plan to get there? So that, you can kind of push aside the whatever currently is flowing in and go, well, this is actually what I'm working on, and that there's the value of what I'm doing. So, with me having culled all this other stuff and having cancelled retreats, like my income's just gone and like flatlined, and I'm totally okay with it because I know what the plan is, and I know that this is a little bit of a lull that I've chosen to go through to allow me to focus on putting together a few critical elements that I then just have to scale and grow. But if I didn't create the space to be able to do that, I would have just kept myself in having to hustle or having to work hard. Like I've been saying, I made 200 grand the hard way. Now I want to make $1 million the easy way. And that's why I've cancelled retreats. And that's why I'm like, yeah, I'll have the odd one-on-one client for now, but that'll do. I want to focus on, what I know is going to make the big difference. And I'm quite happy for that to mean a temporary drop in income, because long-term, there's so much more value and benefit in it. So by knowing what your plan is and what it is you're building, it just helps you be okay whatever the current actual numbers look like, because the more you focus on the current reality, the more you're recreating it over and over again, right?
Yeah.
Have we created more questions for you, or yeah buts, or have we helped?
No, I'm going to take it and process it because my brain's pretty tired. So
good, and it's recorded, so you can just watch this back and see if anything else pops up for you.
Yeah, I think I'm sitting in an in-between place where more of me is starting to believe and know, but then there's the residual coming through. And so I'm doing these, like the old pattern happens, and then I'm like, I turn around and go, oh shit, I've just done it again. And how do I shift out of it so that I can...
Yeah, by not giving it so much energy and going, oh, I just did it again, but I'm doing it less and less, right?
Yeah.
I'm doing it less and less, and I'm catching myself sooner, and I'm becoming more aware, and I'm getting much better at perpetuating the new pattern, because that's where my focus is. So if you go, oh shit, I've just done it again, it's like, but I catch it every time, and I'm doing it less and less, and and it's standing out to me so much more now because it's so in contrast to what the bigger part of me is becoming. So always making sure you reframe it and not let it get all your attention and your energy and blowing it up into some big thing, because then it sucks you back into it.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Good stuff. Go find someone on Airtasker, for God's sake, woman.
I've put it out there. I'm just waiting for the people to come.
Yeah. I vote that Anna walks out of that house, puts a couple of posts up on Airtasker, and just lets the universe find someone to come in and do the whole thing top to bottom for her tomorrow. Anyone with me on that?
So the lady that I messaged, I didn't respond to her last one after I said 300 was more than I expected. She's just sent me another one because I just said I want the bathrooms and the kitchen done. The rest I'm okay with. And she's just revised it and come back and said that she could do it for 220. Easy.
What do you want to pay her?
Yeah, make her an offer. Just say, look, my budget is this much. If that's not possible, that's okay. I'll find somebody else.
Yeah.
It's just bathrooms and kitchen. And I know cleaning ovens and cleaning behind where the fridge used to be, and chuck the laundry in there as well, because wherever your washing machine was is probably, I don't know if your house is anything like mine. Whenever you move the white goods, it's like, I can't believe I've been living in this house.
I know. When we moved all the furniture out, not only did we find half of Serena's stuff, but I was just like, oh my goodness. That's when I was like, this is a really big job, bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Good for the immune system. Love it. All right, good stuff. I've got to go. Thank you, guys. That was a beautiful call. I so love all the love in the room. And keep an eye out for those co-working sessions. I'm not going to try and remember when they are now. I've given them to Jasmine. They're in my calendar. They'll be up in the Facebook group. I think there's one on Tuesday. I think they're like Tuesday. There's a couple of Tuesdays, and then there's one on the Thursday after our last official call. So as if we're having another normal call. See you guys soon. Have a beautiful day. Bye.
Bye.